innovation I'd like to tell you a little bit about is exclusive new apps that come with the Lumia 920. As Joe said, one of the most cited reasons for buying Nokia Lumia is our out-of-the-box integration of location services. And Joe did a great job describing our latest experience called Nokia CityLens. I want to show it to you live here real quick. And this is actually a little bit of a tricky demo to do indoors. So you're going to have to go with me here for a second. I'm going to open up CityLens here. And the idea with CityLens is to use your camera as a way to explore the real world around you. So we're on device 5, guys. Hopefully. Maybe. At some point. Too bad for you. I can see it up here. It looks terrific. Are we going to get to 5? Where are we at? Help me out. We on a different one over here? It's coming? Well, so if we could get it working here, what you'd be seeing is the CityLens up. In fact, you can kind of see it from yourself. You can see here that as I move around, I can discover restaurants in the local area. Now, if I was out on the street, you would actually be able to see those labels on those restaurants. And it works great to be able to go in, and I can actually tap on one of them here. Let's see, there was one I was looking at earlier today. It's out here in the audience. No, it's behind you. Where did we go? If I come in here, and I can actually see in here the address, phone number, I can call them. I can look at images that customers might have uploaded or even reviews. It's a great way, the CityLens is a great way to naturally discover the world around you. It's effortless and intuitive. It's really a fun and easy way to discover things around you. Okay, a second experience I want to tell you about is something that we've worked with Rovio, the famous maker of the games Angry Birds, to cook up, called Angry Birds Roost. And unfortunately, we still don't have out, but you can kind of see it anyway. Angry Birds Roost is an integrated experience that allows me to discover the best of the Angry Birds universe. In here, I can see videos, including walkthroughs of those really difficult levels that I might be stuck on. News, so this is just a news feed from Rovio of all the latest news in the Angry Birds universe. I can download ringtones and even wallpapers. And finally, of course, I can buy and launch directly from here the games from the Angry Birds universe, including classics, space, seasons, all of which are planned to arrive on Lumia within 2012 together, and with perhaps a few surprises. Maybe it's the laptop went asleep on us. Timo, can you come wake it up for me? No? Okay. All right. So the final thing I want to show you is actually 2 lenses that are extensions to the extensibility that Joe showed you earlier in Windows Phone 8. These 2 are the first one is something called Object Remover. It's a feature in a lens called Smart Shoot. And in the Smart Shoot, oh, wow, that's good progress. There we go. So imagine you're in an art gallery. You want to take a picture of a friend with an exhibit you really like, but there's these random people running around. Get out of the way. What do you do? With Smart Shoot, you just ignore them. You go ahead and take that picture, and when it's all done, the images that you saw taken right there are here on my phone, which hopefully you will see now. Please work for us. Well, what you'd see, there we go. I can open up those images in Smart Shoot, and you can see that it goes through and analyzes the images that took. I can tap to erase, and it goes through and finds the objects that are moving. And it processes through to detect things that I might want to remove from that image. When it's done, I can now just tap those 2 interlopers. They are now gone, and I get the image I was after in the first place. It works terrific. All right, thank you. Demo that worked. Okay, the second lens is a lens called Cinematograph. With Cinematograph, we aspire to allow you to take not just a still image, but also add some of the emotion of a moment. Imagine, for instance, you're downtown Helsinki, in the streets of Helsinki with some friends, having a great time, and you want to remember the moment with more than just a still image. You fire up Cinematograph, it takes a capture and does some processing. So again, let me show you that output right here that you saw being taken. Okay, first of all, you get to see a beautiful image taken by the PureView camera. But what if you did want to add just a little bit more of the emotion of the moment or some of the humor of that experience? I can come in here, modify, and add just a little bit of emotion. The flag blowing softly. Why? Because that particular day, there was something worth remembering, a warm breeze flowing through the streets of Helsinki. And if I wanted to add a little bit more, I can come in here and actually add a little bit of the humor of the moment as well. To remember how much fun we were having together as friends. And now what I end up with is an image that gives me just a little bit more than just that still image to remember that experience. So we're pretty proud of Cinematograph. Hopefully you really enjoy playing around with it. While these great lenses will be part of the Lumia 920, we're really proud to also announce that we'll be shipping versions of this same technology for existing Lumia devices as part of our commitment to continue investing in our current devices. All right, finally, I want to tell you about the incredible PureView camera in the Lumia 920, which is by far my favorite thing to talk about in this product. And you all probably know that taking great pictures is really all about capturing more light. And there are two direct ways to capture more light, to get more light to a sensor in the camera. The first is by increasing the size of the hole through which the light travels. This is called increasing aperture. And with the Lumia 920, we've done exactly that. This is the largest aperture for full 16:9 capture shipped to date at f2.0. And a second way to get more light into the sensor is to keep the shutter open for longer, to let more light travel through. The problem is, the longer you leave the shutter open, the more likely you are to introduce blur into the image from your hand moving. The solution to this problem is something called object image stabilization, a technique to mechanically float elements of the camera on tiny little springs. It works to hold the camera steady even when your hand is shaking. But optical image stabilization in smartphones has been largely impractical due to the tiny size of the camera that we put in phones. The mechanical complexity of jamming little tiny springs inside that camera is just daunting. Well, in a sort of Finnish judo move, our engineers thought of a different way. Instead of attempting to isolate just a component of the camera, they decided that they would put springs around the entire optical assembly because it's so small they could do that. In fact, and it turns out that, in fact, based on our lab test, the optical image stabilization system in the Lumia 920 is up to 50% more effective than many high-end digital cameras today. The dramatic effect can most clearly be seen in video. Last week in Helsinki, our engineers rigged up this highly professional rig. I like the red clamp. It's like a wood glue thing. And the point of them doing it was they wanted to compare a competitor's high-end smartphone with default settings, including something called digital image stabilization, and the Nokia Lumia 920. And they wanted to get an exact comparison. So they shot the video I'm about to show you. Go ahead and roll the video, you guys. So you can see here how professional and smooth the video is coming out. Over here, it's typical for a smartphone, something you probably don't want to keep. The difference is dramatic. But professional-looking video is only part of the story. You see, this same technology allows you to keep the shutter open longer when you're taking stills. It allows more of the light to pass through without creating image blur from your hand shaking. Let me show you a few examples. The first image here was taken recently here in Central Park, but again with a competitor's high-end smartphone using default settings and no flash. Here's that same instance captured with the PureView camera in the Lumia 920. It's a spectacular difference. Let me show you another one. This one was taken in Finland last week. A woman on a bridge is a romantic spot in Helsinki. Again, it's enough to remember the moment, but not really something that you would cherish. Here's that same instance taken with PureView camera on the Lumia 920. It's really incredible. Look at the lights in the background, the light on her face. And And the reason is because the camera holds this, the camera can be held so still by that optical image stabilization system that you can capture all that extra light. You're going to say,